I want to preface this call a little bit today um, because I think you're going to get a little, like, you'll look at me and go, really, Steve? Are you seriously telling us this? Because I don't think the people that are on this call right now need to hear this. Which is like, okay, Steve, then why are you telling us? Um, because I think it's important, because maybe sometimes we just need to be reminded, and that we have to let the people who are not on this call like really know what's going on. You guys are plugged in. You guys are plugged into this call. You're plugged into the training Zooms. You're plugged into our opportunity Zooms. Um, it's the people who aren't here that we all have to worry about, right? I don't worry about you guys at all. So whenever I do these calls, maybe it's just to remind you of something. I don't worry about this group at all, because you guys are rocking and rolling, doing some great things. But it's the people in your downline, right? It's like, okay, how do we get the people in our downlines to plug in and connect with everything that you are doing already? And I titled today's call "One Surefire Way to Get New People in Action." And you're gonna hear this, and it's gonna be a pretty short call here today, but you're gonna hear this and you're gonna go, well, no kidding, Steve. No kidding. So maybe this call isn't for you, but it might be something that you have to relay to the people in your organization to really, really get things going. And I know this is a rhetorical question, but you know, if you're if your team is not growing at the rate that you'd like, just raise your hand. It's like, okay, all of us, right? If your team isn't growing the way that you really, really want it to grow, this is a pretty important call. Do you have people on your team right now that are not taking action in their business? And it's like, well, duh, Steve, of course we do. And it's like, well, why is that? Why do we all have people on our teams that don't do anything? They signed up as associates. If they sign up as a customer, that's great. They're using the patches and everything. That's great. They're using the product. Everything's wonderful. But why is it that we get people that enroll as associates and they're excited? The day that they enroll, they're pretty darn excited, but then they don't do anything. And it can be really frustrating to bring a new person in and have them just sit there and absolutely do nothing. And I've actually done this a couple of times. I've said to people, it's like, why did you do this? Why did you invest the money? And they honestly don't have an answer for me, which is really, really frustrating. And I know, listen, it is no fun to bring new people on board, and a few weeks later nothing happens and they're not engaging and they're not connecting with people. Well, today I'm going to show you guys how to fix that. And when I tell you this, you're going to roll your eyes at me, because I don't worry about you. This is just a reminder, so maybe that you can tell the people in your organization. And once you start doing what I'm about to show you, everything's going to change. Hopefully everything's going to change for the better in your organization. So let's get people moving in your organization. Let's get people taking action in your personal organization. Okay, let me tell you a quick little story. This is very fast. It's about my son Mike and the lawnmower. And yes, this is going to relate to moving your people into action. And so this is what happened. This was when Mike was, I don't know, Mike was probably 10. I'm guessing he was 10 years old. I asked him to go out and mow the lawn. Now, that's a big step for me, because I'm the kind of guy that's like, don't touch my lawn. Let me do it. I've got the manicure scissors. Let me go do it. But Colleen and I were talking, and I'm like, all right, let's get Mike out mowing the lawn. And he'd never done it before. And this was something that, he was actually a little bit surprised when I asked him to do it. And so what I did is I showed him. I showed him exactly how to do it. I showed him everything about, we have this big Simplicity riding lawn tractor, and I explained everything on it. I said, this is how you start it. This is how you choke it. This is how you raise the mower up and down. This is how you turn the power on, to get the blades running. This is how you go in reverse. This is where you put gas in it. And then he drove up and down the driveway a few times to get used to it. And then he started to cut the grass. And I showed him exactly how to go down and come back, put the wheel over where, I walked through every single step. And before long, he was doing a great job. But I'll tell you, the first couple of times, I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I even do this? Why? It's like, oh my, this is my lawn. And seriously, after just a couple of times, he was doing great. I'm like, oh my God, this is fantastic. It's like, Mike, way to go. And so not only was he cutting our lawn, but he was doing neighbors. And then he got a job when he was really young with the school district, cutting the school property, the school district's properties. And I didn't just tell Mike to go mow the lawn. I showed him how to mow the yard. I showed him everything. And this is the exact same approach we have to have with new people in our business. Okay? Now, question for you. How hands-on are you in helping your new person get started in the business? Now, once again, I know most of you on this call are going, Steve, we're very hands-on. It's like we tell them exactly what to do. I tell them about the Zooms on Tuesday nights. We've got the trainings, our team call on Monday night. We've got, the miracle moments on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We've got training on Saturday. They have the business presentation slides. We do 3-way calls, blah, 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 blah. And you're giving them all the tools. Okay, I know. And that's exactly what I mean when I say showing somebody how to do this. When I bring a new person in, the first thing I say is, who can we talk to? Who can we talk to? Let's get them on a 3-way call. Well, when I get somebody on a 3-way call with my new person, what am I doing? I'm showing them how to do this. And I'm showing everybody, every time that you guys hear my voice when it comes to an opportunity, Zoom or a call, I say the exact same thing. And when Mike was mowing our lawn, I'm like, Mike, do it this way every time. Just do it this way every single time. And you're going to get so good at it. And I know you guys are listening to this right now going, I know, Steve, but my people don't do it. I'm like, I know. It's really hard to change the numbers. When we talk about the 80-20 rule, 20% of the people do 80% of the work. You can't change those numbers, all right? But it's getting the 20% maybe to do a little bit more. And if we don't actually show them, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you right now, because like I said on a training that we did yesterday, I assume people know stuff that they don't know. And I got to really step back and keep that in mind. And we've got to keep the basics of how to build this business in the forefront. And we have to talk about it all the time. And, we teach people how to create their story because stories sell. We have to teach people how to talk to people about this business. You just don't walk up to somebody and go, hey, want to try a patch? It's like, no, you get to know them a little bit and you figure out what's going on in their life. And then you provide a solution and then you tell your story based on what's going on in their life. And you just kind of weave it all in. And I'm like, doesn't everybody know that? It's like, no, you guys, they don't. They don't know that. Most people are so excited about their story, they just start telling, oh my God, I did this and this and this. And it's like, well, how does that relate to the person you're talking to? Just make sure that story relates to the person that you're talking to. So we've got to show people. Like I said, I know it's difficult. If you want more people to take action, make sure that you get involved, that you're really, really involved with them. And I know what you're saying to me right now. You're saying, well, Steve, maybe they don't want to get involved with me. It's like, I know. Then you got to go get new people. You got to go find those 20%ers, you guys, which means, 8 out of 10 people aren't going to do anything. Well, are you willing to bring in 10 people to find 8, to find 2 that want to go do something? It's like, yeah. I mean, think about that. When you've got 10 people in your organization, you got 2 that are working. When you've got 100 people in your organization, you got 20 that are working. When you've got 1,000 people in your organization, 800 of them aren't going to be doing anything. And if you think about the 800, you could get suicidal. But how would you like to have 200 people working? I mean, that's the difference. You have 10,000 people in your group, 8,000 of them are going to be bums. But how'd you like to have 2,000 people working? Just like you can't change the numbers to the bad side from you can't change the 80% and you can't change the 20%, but you can make the 20% bigger by just bringing more people in, right? So I don't want you guys to think that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, because you are. You are. But this is just a reminder for the people in your organizations that you have to be so hands-on with the people that you bring in. Make sure that they have every single tool available to them to be successful. Make sure that they tie into the trainings and the opportunity Zooms and three-way calls. It's like, you guys, I do, oh my gosh, 1, 2, 3. I did three-way calls yesterday. Did a Zoom with Mark last night. I don't know. And you know what? I didn't break a sweat doing any of that. That's what our business is, you guys. And every time that we do a call or a Zoom, we say the exact same thing. So it's not like we have to prepare for anything. So just get people, make sure that they have all the tools, make sure that they understand that you are there to help them. You are there to help them. In your mind, you can't change the numbers, but you're gravitating towards those 20%ers. And if you want that 20% to be a really big number, we just have to keep plowing through the snow. I look outside here and go, yep, we got to plow through the snow. We got to go plow through it and find the people that want to do this with us. So pretty basic information today, you guys. Like I said, I know you're doing it already, but maybe it's just a reminder for the people in your organization.